Hello, good people. Thanks for joining me again. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Ann, and on my channel, I review foreign shows. Like I always say, what do? We travel around the world, enjoying foreign content, sitting on our couches, right? And in the process, we are learning so much, right? We learn language, food, culture is just fantastic. And today we are back and we are actually going to be in two countries at the same time. OMG, right? Today we're going to be in Thailand and in South Korea at the same time. And the reason why we're doing that is because I just finished watching this show called Unlucky Ploy. And what I found out was it was a remake of a South Korean show called Another Miss O. And what's interesting is I had seen Another Miss O a long time ago and forgot about it. And then when I started watching this, I was like, wait, I have seen this show before. So I thought it would be so much fun to compare both of them, just because I had seen both of them and I thought, first of all, each country did a fantastic job. Now, before we begin, I wanted to also, because some of the things that we do when we're watching foreign show is, like I said, we learn what? Food, language, culture. And so I learned when you say hello in Thailand, they say sawakdi, sawakdi. And then to my Korean friends, as usual, 여보세요, 안녕하세요. So welcome, and let's get started in reviewing the both shows. So I'm gonna start off with Another Miss O, just because that was the original one, and like I said, it was done by South Korea. And really, the story is about two girls, and what happens is they so happen to have the same exact name. And I mean first and last name. And they also went to the same school. So let's just say all their lives, they've always been confused for each other. But what's interesting is that one is more pretty, if you will, more good looking than the other. And it also happens that the one who's more pretty is also very smart. So this other Miss O, if you will, in the South Korea series, is always struggling to the fact that she's always confused with that one. And then obviously having another person with the same name like yours and also looking so beautiful, the other person always got attention and you are always looked as just the other one. Nothing special, right? So as the story progresses, we see that the beautiful or would-be Miss O lives with her family, but the family seems a little bit dysfunctional. However, the other Miss O, who is that one, comes from a family. She's an only child, and her mom and dad just love her to death and spoil her. And by the way, I really loved the parents of both shows. They did an excellent job. And so she's raised with a lot of love, however, always felt inferior to the other. So then what happens is they fast forward, they're all grown up, everybody has moved on to their own life. And actually the show opens up with another Miss O having lunch with the fiance, and the fiance is breaking up with her, and she's just like, what? And the reason for breakup was the worst reason ever. He said, I cannot stand watching you eat like that all my life, like you eat like a pig. Really? Oh my gosh, it was the most hurtful thing ever. So anyway, when she goes home, she just tells the mom and dad, we broke up, I'm the one who broke it off, but she never tells the parents why. And what's funny is, even in both situations, when she comes to tell the parents that she broke off the engagement. There'll be no wedding. And don't forget, the wedding was in a few days, right? The mothers, both mothers, the way they react was golden. And I have to say, for both countries, both mothers were like superb. Like, I loved both of them. I love both actresses. I've seen them before. And so obviously they break off the wedding. She's very sad, and really doesn't get it, like, of all the reasons, right? Of all the reasons. So what we find out is the reason why the fiance breaks off with her is because he was going to jail and really did not want her to be embarrassed or feel bad, and really kind of wanted to spare her life in a way. So came up with this really not so interesting excuse, and he goes to jail. But what we find out is the reason why he went to jail is because this other guy had gone to see his business partner, her fiance's business partner, and pretty much said, I know you're going to invest in his company. You can't do that. So what they really do is pretty much destroy him by not getting into the investment, and then also like accuses him of forgery, and that's why he's sent to jail. And the reason why this other guy is revenging is because his girlfriend, whose name is Miss O, broke up with him, left him at the altar during their wedding. So he wanted revenge. But unfortunately, what happens is they got the wrong boyfriend. He thought she left him on the altar for another man. And they found that man because they looked through the school book and saw Miss O. But they picked the wrong Miss O, and they picked the wrong boyfriend. So the reason why her fiance broke off with her is because they picked the wrong boyfriend and punished the wrong boyfriend. And so that's why this Miss O is living, let's just say, a terrible life, because it was a mistake. Once again, because of having the same name, they're mistaken for the wrong person. They went to do revenge on the wrong boyfriend and ended up being this Miss O and not the beautiful Miss O, because really the revenge was meant for the fiance of the beautiful Miss O. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, so the whole series really, it becomes where she is just trying to make it, and obviously very depressed. There's a lot of crying. And then what happens is the guy who did the revenge starts having these visions. Like, we are shown that he has visions, and he would see like in the future, okay? And then he realizes that, oh my God, we punished the wrong girl. So really, in the whole show, he is trying to make an amends. And he ends up meeting this other Miss O, and they get to know each other. And obviously, it's not a K-drama, it's not a Thai drama if there's no love, and he ends up falling in love with her. I know. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So you've got to watch to see what happens, because if he's falling in love with her, he also probably has to come clean in the fact that he's the one who destroyed her would-be marriage by mistakenly punishing the wrong guy who was her fiance. And let's just say the fiance also, after he comes out of jail, also will find out who it was, and there's a whole lot of beating down. But really, just a really excellent show. I don't want to tell you obviously how it ends, because if I do, then what's the point of you watching it? I also want you to watch it and see who is she gonna end up with. But it's so interesting. But I wanted to take the time to just kind of compare the both, like I said, the Thai one versus the South Korea one. So in the Another Miss O, the South Korean one, the girl who's playing Another Miss O is Hyun-jin, and then the guy who plays as the one who made the mistake and punished her fiance is being played by Eric Myun. And then the other Miss O, who's the pretty Miss O, is being played by Jeon Hye-bin. So really, really interesting. And then the fiance of another Miss O, the one that went to jail, is being played by Lee Jae-yoon, who, by the way, I've seen him in a lot of shows. He was in Revolutionary Love. I believe he was in that one. He was also in Oh My Venus. Ooh, that was a hot show. If you ever get to watch it, it was very, very good. He did a great job in that. And then in this show, which I love, it had one of our famous Korean actresses who plays the mother. We see Kim Mi-kyung. I think that's how you say her. She just does an excellent job of playing the mother. And in this show, she did not disappoint. I mean, she was your doting, controlling mother, and she did it with such a great job. And then her father was Lee Han-wi, who was also really, really excellent. I've also seen him before. So yeah, I think that the cast in the South Korea was very, very good. If I was to compare between the both, I would say I have to give a point for natural acting came through more with South Korea. I think they had a little bit of an edge. I felt like they had a little bit more of a smooth transitions with emotions, I think. I also felt with the character, Eric Myun's character, it felt like, the character is supposed to be somebody who's kind of very stoic, obviously, because of all the mistake he's done. But as he learns to accept love, he warms up. I felt like he did an excellent job in where we saw the progression of the growth compared to the Thai actor. So I just, it's interesting that you could compare the both. Now, when it came to another Miss O, comparison of both another Miss O and Unlucky Ploy, I felt like both actresses did an excellent job. And let's go ahead and meet the actors and actresses of Unlucky Ploy. So the cast of Unlucky Ploy, the Unlucky Ploy character is being played by Atsagdapon, and then the would-be lucky Ploy, or the beautiful Ploy, is being played by Wara Daya, and then the lead male character is being played by Ansun Maned. May not be saying that correctly, but I think once again, as far as comparison for the male lead, like I said, I felt like for Unlucky Ploy, it felt like he was stiff the whole show. Like only at the end, I felt like we could have counted like 1, 2, 3 times when he smiled. The whole time he was so stone-faced. So that's why I'd say I would take a mark off for acting and give it to the South Korean, another Miss O. As far as the parents, I felt like they both equally did. It was like 1 for 1. I mean, they brought it. It was so good. And actually the mother in Unlucky Ploy, I also saw her in another remake of a Korean show called Oh My Ghost. She was also very good in that. Check that out. The other comparisons that I loved was the sister, who was also Unlucky Ploy's boss. Those two characters in both the South Korean, another Miss O, and Unlucky Ploy, the casting was just fantastic. I felt like they really nailed it there. I also felt that the parents of the lead character, the male character, the mother with both hats, I felt like they were also very, very on point. I mean, it was very like one for one. They did a good job. And then the other character I liked was obviously the lead character's best friend, who was a lawyer. They were a little bit different, but still also did an excellent job. I was gonna say some of the other scenes that I thought were kind of fun to compare was the scene of when she moves in next to him, and he comes out with a towel. I have to say, I think Thailand won that one. I mean, his muscles were just like rip, 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 rip. So I think Thailand won for that one. And then the two other scenes that I thought were interesting to compare was the kissing scene, right? I have to say, I think South Korea won that one. Let me know what you think, but it felt like the transition with the South Korean felt a little bit more natural. The Thai one felt a little bit rushed, and maybe a little bit, and not like the chemistry didn't quite, come together. But like I said, still really, really very well done. So, but if we're gonna give one for one, I think the towel scene with the muscles, Thai gets one, and if it's the kissing scene, South Korea gets one. So really excellent show. Really, really enjoyed it. Let me know which other scenes that you enjoyed watching and comparing, and which scene, which country did it better. Although, like I said, both very, very good. I also felt like they did a really good job with when they did another Miss O's friends, and when they did Unlucky Ploy's friends. I felt like they did an also excellent job with. You could totally see each of them. I mean, when they did Unlucky Ploy, they really tried to like do everything exactly like another Miss O. There was even one section where she is wearing the same exact shirt. Remember the shirt that said, I only want to smile, not cry, something or other like that. I was like, wow, they even got a shirt that says that. So yeah, I thought it was really, I think both shows, although it's the same exact storyline, they're both worth watching. And like I said, I think if I was to give a score of which one is better than the other, I feel like they're both equally okay, but South Korea may have edged them out by a little bit. For the acting, it came a little bit more natural. Thai, there were some parts where the girl is going through a lot, so she does a lot of crying, and there were some parts when she would cry, it made her look like a little girl versus like a grown woman crying, but still very, very well done. I love the shots of the beach, in each show. It was really, really excellent. Really, to be honest, I think in general, if you watch both, you'd really, really enjoy. It doesn't matter which one you go first to. Obviously, the South Korean one came first, and then another Miss Ploy was just done this year, and actually the last episode just aired this week. So, but they're both equally really, really good shows. For the Thai, by the way, that's one thing I do like, when we watch foreign shows, is culture shows up. Obviously, with another Miss O, there is the Korean culture will show up. Same thing with Thai. The culture shows up with the food and everything. And at the end, obviously, there's a wedding at the end. And I love that in the Thai one, they were wearing their traditional Thai clothing. How beautiful was that? The wedding was so beautiful. It wasn't just your traditional white dress, westernized. She wore their traditional Thai wedding dress, which was nice. Another thing which I never knew, during a wedding, they sit on the floor. I think this is the first time I'm watching this where they sit on the floor, they exchange rings and blessings. But I just thought it would be so much fun to just come and compare, just because it was hard, because they were both equally good, right? I felt like there was such both excellent show, interesting storyline. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having the same exact name and then you go to the same school? I mean, I would have told my parents to change my name. There's no way. I'd have been like, I'm gonna use my middle name. Don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you think that you're done with high school, and then you move on to real life. She goes her way and you go your way. And then even when you're older and doing real life adulting, you still meet again, and even worse, still affects your life because they chose the wrong guy to punish, and that affects the unlucky Ploy or the other another Miss O. But anyway, just an excellent show. Please watch them both. They were excellently done. You learn about South Korea and you learn about Thailand, which is the reason why we watch these foreign shows. They're just excellent. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, don't forget to subscribe, turn that notification button on, give me a like if you like the video, and come back next time when I review another excellent foreign show. Thank you very much. Deuces.